Thank you, Subin Varghese. So I would like to thank Lisa College for organizing and the Postgraduate Department of English for organizing this wonderful webinar. And my thanks are also due to Father Jose, the director of Lisa. Congratulations also to Dr. Benny Joseph for taking up the prime pole position at Lisa. And to Balan sir or Balasubramaniam sir, the head of the department, and Savio James sir. My topic today is co-creating digital learning spaces. And this is a particular topic that I am quite interested in. Although English is my primary subject, this space, this digital learning, I have always been interested in this right from the time I got my UGC major project in 2014. And I have always been advocating this system of learning using the computer as an accessory, but maybe fortunately or unfortunately, now it has become a sort of 90% learning or even 100% for the time being. So the digital learning space is presently the most important thing till colleges reopen. And this particular space, we need to use it purposefully. And for this, how would we be able to co-create digital learning spaces is my topic, and I will be addressing this. I'm sure there will be a few questions afterwards, and we will move on to the next slide, where the 21st century is radically challenging the old notions of learning spaces in the classroom, giving way to anytime and anywhere learning. Teachers are beginning their day at 7 a.m., scheduling classes instead of the usual 9:30 a.m. Assignments are being done by students exclusively at home. Submitting online assignments just prior to the stroke of midnight is becoming the new mode of submission, and social distancing is becoming the new normal. In this process, are students and teachers slowly becoming islands? Can we do something about it? Although schools and colleges have not really opened up in India, pictures from other parts of the world, especially Europe, are showing up where class strength is significantly being reduced, with most people spending about half their time in class and the other half learning at home. Increase in school hours with morning and afternoon shifts. Physical distancing measures in place with seats which are about 2 meters or 6 feet or 6 feet 6 inches apart. And even staggered arrival, departure, and break times. That even newlyweds will compulsorily have to practice social distancing outside their homes. Something that was unheard of just 150 days back. I'd like you to look at this ad by an airline company, where nowadays, I'm sure you would have witnessed this phenomenon in the barber shops or in hospitals. Because I had an encounter with in the barber shop when I went there to cut my hair. He actually asked me, "Do you want a sort of not a PPE kit, but a plastic to put on me, and also the razor and all those things which were sort of sterilized for exclusively for my use, but of course I would have to pay for it." In the same way, when my wife went for her X-ray in the hospital, she was also asked whether she wanted the normal green coat, which other patients also would have used, or would she want another one, which would cost extra. The same way, airlines are now going into this new sort of social distancing method where you can even block a seat. There is one seat which is always reserved, but at the same time, even the other seat you can block for, your what you call social distancing rules to be more enforced. So there is a total difference in areas, in the sense that the physical space available for teaching also will soon have to be expanded. Maybe you'll have to start making use of libraries. You might have to use community halls. You may have to use leisure centers, conference venues, and even short-term leases of vacant business accommodation. Parents, meanwhile, are busy buying mobile devices to get their children on board. Students and teachers are using their devices from different locations, some even searching for a little bit of connectivity. You must all have seen this picture, searching for that little bit of connectivity. Innovative use of digital technology will soon make existing teachers and staff collaborate with other institutes, and where necessary, the role of former teachers like me will be considered to return to the classroom or for virtual teaching to support in-home learning. Learning spaces are being revolutionized by the coming of technology for supporting education and learning. The idea of students being seated at their desks, passively listening to teachers' lessons, is becoming old-fashioned, and attendance is now being taken based on feedback or camera mode or automatic attendance monitoring, or even the number of minutes a student is engaged in a specific time period. New pedagogies are also shaping, especially the desocializing pedagogy, dialogic, then problem posing. And these are different participatory, these are different radical pedagogies which might be coming up, or at the same time which may start forming into what we call the new pedagogy. The learning spaces, while the new pedagogies are shaping, while existing ones are molding themselves into new forms. Here are some aspects of the new paradigm of future learning spaces. We shall also analyze how teachers and students can co-create digital learning spaces. And for this particular slide, I have termed it as number 1, collaborative learning spaces. So this is the new concept, collaborative learning spaces. Learning has always been a community effort. It happens together with a group of students going toward the same direction or goal. This usually is the examination and thereby a degree. With the infinite possibilities given by technology, collaborative tools and social networks are reverberating online, vying to capture the attention of learners, each with a special touch of their own. Collaborative learning, therefore, is therefore an accurate term that caters for educational approaches encompassing joint scholarly effort between students or students and teachers together. Despite working together, each is responsible for and accountable to each other. Collaborative learning can take the form of face-to-face communication or use computer platforms like chat room or online forums. And collaborative teaching and learning create an environment where members aggressively cooperate by sharing experiences and taking on different roles. The main tasks that students work on in collaborative learning are collaborative writing, group projects, problem solving, discussions, study groups, and other activities. Now, all these things have already been done, tried, tested, as I told you, from 2014 onwards. Case in point, first case in point, nuts and bolts of English. This is a workbook that is being used for improving spoken English in all the islands of Lakshadweep, and in many colleges. There is a sort of partnership for the first year students to improve their communicative and spoken English. This work of collaborating with research scholars and teachers was done in a matter of 2 years, and this collaborating space was, and this particular book is being used as supplementary material by teachers and training institutes. And Calicut University has now included this book in their BA Functional English syllabus of 2019-2022. 2 other books have also just been accepted, and they are Enhance Your English, Essential and Applied, but these are grammar books. All of these, the Nuts and Bolts of English and Enhance Your English, Essential and Applied Grammar, all of them have been done in what we call collaborative digital spaces with teachers, research scholars from as far away as Muscat and Singapore, etc. We also presently use Google Drive, Edmodo, Google Classroom, and I'm very happy that Lisa College has access to Google Classroom. So I'm sure that all these things will definitely be put into good use. And also we have PictoChart. Number 2, we have digital blended learning. Now, we had this term blended learning before. And in blended learning, previously, it used to be, let's say, 45 or 50% of classroom teaching and another 50% online learning. So this was when I began my research in ELT. This sort of concept had just begun. By 2013 or so, this began, and I was actually a proud exponent of using blended learning, and I believed that blended learning would help a lot, and my research had showed that. But now it looks like more like I am slightly rephrasing the term as digital blended learning. Here, we work in teams, and then we collaborate. If you look into the picture, into the graphic, you can see that. The instructions are also delivered. Previously, the instructions used to be from the classroom, but now even instructions are delivered online. And you reinforce your learning with coaching in the sense that you learn with other peers, you learn with the teachers. And finally, you go in for your examination initial examinations can be online, and the final examination presently is they have still not yet devised methods, but maybe soon methods might come wherein you might even get certifications online. Of course, you have Coursera and edX and all those offering certifications online even now. So this sort of thing is what I term as the digital blending. Previously, blended learning used to be a mixture of traditional classroom coupled with online learning. The new normal for teachers will call for precision in planning. Since the curriculum is set with common learning goals, the teacher and students will need to achieve the goals in more engaging ways, from quizzes to discussion platforms to chat to games. The teacher will also need to don a new role, from lessons that lend themselves to common learning pace for everyone with minimum parental involvement, to a digital blended learning mode that leads to more personalized learning paths and continuous flow of learning between college hours and home hours, in which parents provide or put in more parental involvement. In the college, the teacher is looked upon as a guru, but in digital blended learning, more power is given to the shishyas, but still providing guidance plus the additional meeting with parents and guardians to keep them fully updated of the process of learning. This would generally occur only during PTA meetings once or twice in a semester in a college normal period. But now, parental involvement might be a little bit more. And the teacher becomes a mediator who vacillates between the sometimes conflicting wants and needs of the administration, the students, and their families. The teacher needs to navigate a volume of knowledge so immense that no one person can retain it all. And this case in point is TED-Ed. TED-Ed is a wonderful digital blended learning software wherein you can, sort of co-create. In fact, these lessons were created by students for me so that I could give it online. And if you look into the views, you can find that W.H. Auden, a poem which is presently in Appreciating Poetry B English, has got 8,916 views, and it has become quite a success. So the teacher also becomes a mentor and distinguishing between reliable and unreliable sources and learning to apply said knowledge to real life problems. Number 3, we have gamification. And this is another powerful tool to motivate learning. It is mainly about bringing fun into learning. By following this approach, teachers can give students the motivation to be more challenging and interactive, to make learning more effective. The key to gamification online nowadays, is rethinking the learning spaces. Previously, this Kahoot used to be played in the college, and I remember whenever Kahoot used to be put in, it was a wonderful experience. All the students would love to play this game. The key to gamification online is rethinking the learning spaces so that students should have the possibility to enhance their engagement while participating in a lesson. We also have something called ergonomics, and this is something which we really need to listen to, or we need to specify, or we need to, as teachers or as students, we need to really and carefully look into. Classrooms are spaces for a rigid configuration. A bench and desk or sometimes a chair with a foldable table. This is the ergonomics of a classroom. But now, This has shifted to the comfort of their homes. The ergonomics has now totally changed. The comfort of the homes, different seating patterns, even slumber type patterns can evolve. Sometimes early morning when we take classes at 7:30, you find the children bleary-eyed, just getting up from their beds. Unfortunately, the camera is on, so we tell them to switch off the camera. So many things. The pattern of learning itself has totally changed. Some teachers also, some teachers, like what I'm doing is sitting now on a chair and teaching. Some teachers even now prefer to stand and take classes. In fact, I have a colleague of mine who only stands when the classes are being taken, even now during online classes. So some teachers take classes with their notebooks, some stand, some use the whiteboard. Nowadays it's Jamboard. Some even slouch on slumberettes while teaching through their mobile phones. Modern teachers or modern students slouch on their cushions or slumberettes, while teachers also do all these things. The importance of ergonomics is often underrated. So we really need to look into this. But when learning online, students and teachers must feel comfortable. Just as children use different furniture in the same learning space, classrooms may also have to allow students to work in different areas depending on the project or the time of the day. So this might be a new way to do this. That is, students might have to work in different areas depending on the project or the time of the day. So also important though to think about adapting learning spaces for children with disabilities. This would also be a case in point. These are certain random thoughts that passed my mind. Along with this, there should all be an overall sensory awareness. Teachers and students should be made aware of controlled lighting, good quality acoustics, visual contrast and texture, reduced levels of stimuli, and generic sensory elements, including fresh air. Together, let's co-create better and enriched digital learning spaces. Thank you.